Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today we have a Brora here in my cask. It's from the special releases of Diageo, and thank you very much to the distributor who gave me a wonderful set of samples from the special releases. And with these samples came this small book where all these special releases from 2017 are mentioned and described. And here we have the Brora 34 years, and it's distilled in 1982. So they try to bottle the vintages straight. So do not mix the vintages and keep the age. So it's quite difficult. So the set of casks matching these rules are smaller and smaller, and this year only 3,000 bottles were made. ABV is quite high with 51.9. So the maturation at the coast of the east coast of the Northern Highlands seems to be, well, quite comfortable, that you do not lose that much alcohol. It's natural cask strength, and yeah, they are from refill American hogsheads. Well, the color, 34 years, not too dark. Well, it's the casks. The tasting guide, deep gold with gold bedding and slow legs. So there might be some oiliness in it. The initial aroma is maritime and mineral, with dried seaweed, then waxed apples, damp straw, hints of honeysuckle, and underlying touches of oily tags. Might suggest a cider farm's workshop in springtime. Oh, they place pictures in my head. Spicier and slightly dusty tones of earth and browning leaves develop in the weightier savory center, which shows fresh peeled bark, turmeric and mace. Ooh, barley sugar, hint of orange juice, and so on and so on. Taste starts sweet, waxy texture, for which Brora is renowned. So at first it's sharper than you expect, with fruit, chili, and fresh ground black pepper. Spicy, mouth-cooling Szechuan pepper, masked by chocolate, sweetgrass, and fruity sweet. So it's a very, very long list of tasting notes. And here you can see how they worked in the distillery. And I was there in the late 90s. And I was able to look through a gap and could see the residuals of the pot stills. There were some coppers to be seen, but if this was a mash tun lid or a cooler or part of a pot still, I can't say, I can't tell, or just a pipe, copper pipe, whatever. It was founded in 1819, so earlier than the typical Highland distilleries were officially licensed in 1823, 1824, after the king said, well, this is the whiskey I like, and we seized the ban on producing whiskey in the Highlands. Time before, only whiskey from the lowlands was allowed, because there it could be taxed. But it was very cheap, very fast distilled grain whiskey, not worth to mention. So the king was right, and so they loosed the ban. They rose the ban, and so this was established in 1819 at the coast, so that the ships can bring in the goods and take away the finished whiskey. One of Scotland's earliest purpose-built malt whisky distilleries. It cost £750 to build. Well, then the pound was a lot more, a lot more than today. And it was closed from 1931 till 38 and from 1941 to 45. So they started distillation in 46. Quite interesting. There was a ban on distilling after the war because there was a lot of food shortages. So, and they were allowed to distill. Very good. And it was coal-fired until 1961, so it was a direct-fired distillery. Would be interesting to see if the good news is that Brora is rebuilt and will go into operation again in 2019. They bought it for 30 million, not bought it, the budget for rebuilding Port Ellen and Brora is 35 million pounds. And I wonder if they will rebuild the direct fired stills, because I think Kleinlich, which is the succeeding distillery on the same premise, I think they are steam fired, steam heated from the inside. So if they start to use natural gas, I doubt. I think they will stay with the steam firing. Hopefully I'm wrong. But it's a lot cheaper than the direct firing, and then you need the rummager, that the peels of the barley corns did not burn to the inside of the still. Yeah. So here we go. This is the small sample from the distributor, and I'm happy to have that because this bottle is so awfully expensive. It's about 1,600 euros. Dollars, pounds, will easily jump over the 2,000 limit in a few months when all the bottles are sold, because there are already 16 bottles of these annual releases out on the market, and well, people try to finish their collection, and well, you have to pay 25,000 for a full collection. So people try to get it in full because now the end is in sight. The last ones will cost 3,000, 4,000. I have no idea. Well, the sky's the limit. And then the new one will come in 2022. And hopefully they make it affordable, because if they say, well, we're selling it for a tenth of these extremely expensive bottles, nobody has the money to pay that for a 3-year-old whiskey. We'll see. Perhaps they wait longer until they bring out a single malt. Wonderful, pleasant maritime note, underlying vanilla and caramel. And on top is this apple note, this waxed apple note. On top, I would say apple, not waxed apple. There's a light fruity note on top. And then vanilla below, vanilla. And this maritime note is quite strong. This seaweed near sea. Yeah. In the start, it's oranges. It's all orange juice. Wonderful. Apples as well. And then spiciness comes up. Sharp pepper arises, or chili, and which then vanishes and moves over to a very round, smooth spiciness from the oak wood. Yeah. Oh, it's complex, it's full. It's really mature. And there's this little oiliness in it. Yeah. Oh. In the aftertaste, there's a little sweetness. This barley sweetness. This maritime note on top. And then immediately taking over by a fruitiness, those apples, those oranges. So I wouldn't have said that it's that old. It's so fresh, it's that present. It's not old, saturated, mature, lying there. No, it's fresh, it's fruity. And it's not those old fruits, those oxidized fruits like plums, dates, figs, and so on. No, it's fresh, not too fresh, not the citrus, the citron note, but oranges or juice oranges. So it's a little more oxidized. Well, yes. Oh. Wonderful complex. Yeah, it's wonderful to have the chance to taste all these wonderful old special releases. Thank you very much for giving me these samples. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned. There are a lot of special releases to taste soon, yeah, before the holiday season. Thank you very much for watching.